Okay, welcome to Culinary Arts with the Professor Cooking Show. Today we are gonna make the okayest Kung Pao chicken in town. Before we start, we're gonna talk about spoons. When you cook with me, we got two kinds of spoons. We got teaspoons and tablespoons. This is the spoon that you put in your tea. It's a teaspoon. This is the spoon at your table. It's a tablespoon. There we go. Let's get started. First of all, we got our powders, various cocaine-like powders, okay? We got sugar and flour. Now, we need 1+ tablespoon. That's what I mean, 1+. It's a generous tablespoon of flour and 1+ teaspoons of sugar. There we go. Maybe put a few grains back. You want it more spicy, less sweet. So those are our various cocaine-like powders. Here we have, next one is our spice and nuts.
Say that one more time.
Spice and nuts. Now this is called hua jiao. Most people, I think, here call it Sichuan peppercorn. And this is numbing pepper, okay? And I like this stuff, so I take a tablespoon. You could do 1+ teaspoon, but I like it, so let's do a tablespoon. Okay, here we go, nice tablespoon there. You can maybe take a look at what these things are, right? And if you eat it, your mouth goes numb. So they're nice little peppers. Red chili peppers, dried red chili peppers. Okay, so we got 5 to 7 for this recipe. Break them up. Okay, so here's one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm not cooking just for myself, so let's stop at 6. Let's see. Next thing to do, we got, okay, this is the important one for Kung Pao. Take shelled peanuts. They don't need to be snacky kind of peanuts like this. You can even take them out of the shells yourself. It's kind of time consuming. I like to buy shelled peanuts by like the kilogram, if you're able to, at like a grocery store. Anyway, take 1+, remember, a generous handful of shelled peanuts. I'll put a little more in here because we got a lot. In fact, I might put one more pepper in too. There we go. And that will bring us done with our nuts and spices into our liquids. Now, what do we have for liquid? We got Jinjiang vinegar. We have low sodium soy sauce. And we got Huangzhou. Okay, Huangzhou is Chinese, literally translated, yellow drink, yellow alcoholic beverage. They call it yellow wine, okay? Now, it's a shame that I have to use this stuff because this is the nice stuff for drinking, okay? But unfortunately, I'm all out of cooking Huangzhou right now. Popularly, I think in English, it's known by one of its variants that is Shaoxingjiu, so Shaoxing wine. You might hear that. Anyway, Chinese rice wine, this is the stuff that the Kung Fu masters drink when they're hanging out up in the tree. Okay, so here we got our liquids. Okay, let's take, I don't want to use a bowl, I'm using a mug. Use a mug for our liquids. Okay. Tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 generous tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. If you like another kind of soy sauce, fine. But I find the stronger ones overpowering in this recipe, so I prefer low sodium. Like I said, this dark rice vinegar, I like Jinjiang, but whatever kind of dark rice vinegar you happen to have around, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now here's our Huangzhou. What a shame. Let's drink the rest of this too, shall we? Might as well, right? Yeah.
You gotta.
I mean, I don't know how much is left, right? Yeah, I don't know how much is left. So I'll get a clean tablespoon. One, 2, 3. And we're cooking for more people, so I'm gonna add another 4. Okay, now let's just set this aside and see how much is left in the jar.
You can leave it with me if you want.
Oh, have a sip. I'm just gonna pour myself a finger or two. I'll do myself first. Okay. I'm just gonna do a finger. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Yeah. Perfect.
It's just like 17% alcohol, so it's like
it's like fortified.
It's like when you think about. It's the more. The first sip, you're just kind of like, what the hell is that? And as you go, it's like, okay. You start like really tasting like the different like
subtle layers of it.
Little like layers. That's what really
it's
more enjoyable as you go. The first one you're like, that is not
like
anything I've ever tasted. So
okay. So like I was saying, Huangzhou is really nice stuff. Some of it's for drinking, some of it's for cooking. Get the stuff for cooking so you don't have to waste the stuff for drinking, because it's lovely. Here I am enjoying a glass right now. Now, we have our liquids, okay? That's gonna be 4 tablespoons soy sauce, preferably low sodium, 3 tablespoons Zhenjiang dark rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons some kind of Huangzhou, preferably Shaoxing, whatever you like. Okay, so we got our powders, we got our spice and nuts, we got our liquids. Now, here's the point where we're starting to open up our vegetables, okay? And when we start to cut things and have things that we're going to need to wash, my philosophy is do things in the correct order so you don't have to wash anything more than once. So I always try to strive to get everything in the right order. If I do it right, I won't have to wash anything until it's cooking or I have a free minute, and I'll only have to do it once, okay? So make sure you get your powders, your liquids, your nuts, your spices, all that dry goods kind of stuff done before you open up the vegetables. Now we're going to start to talk about things that are either sharp, on fire, or potential biohazards, right? So this is where the interesting part of the cooking show comes up. So first thing, something sharp, right? We got to get out our knife. Here's the things we got to be careful with, right? Okay, and let's look at our veggies. Okay, we got green onions. Okay, we got a bell pepper. We got half of a regular onion. Ginger. And garlic. Where's the garlic? Here's the garlic. Okay. These are our veggies. And that's it. Good. We get out our cutting board. Like I said, we got our knife, got our cutting board. Make sure your stuff's washed. Wash your veggies. It's gross if you don't wash your veggies and your meat. We're gonna wash our meat too. I like to take the first layer off of the onion, just because it's cleaner underneath. Sometimes even the first 2 layers. Okay, so notice how we got these onions nice and little diced up, right? So along one side, then flip the onion around and then go down the other, right? That's how you do it. Here's our veggie bowl. Boom. Plop.
Bro, your Bumble is like popping off right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, I'm not even fucking with you, dude. Dude, these ladies are like popping it. Yeah.
Dude! Like,
What's the
paying for those things is like, dude, have you ever bought a subscription for them?
I mean, Tinder, yeah, back with.
Dude!
Like,
That's how you be successful on
wasn't
Tinder.
worth it, but okay.
Okay, well, I thought
It
it
seems
was.
to be working out for you.
Yeah.
They are blowing up your line. By that I mean you've gotten 2 messages. So.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Chopping up my garlic. So you gotta kind of get the little papery stuff off, right? And I like to chop either end of it like this. Boom, boom. And now you can peel off the skin, right? Pretty good, huh? I always like to rinse off all my stuff, as was recently being discussed off camera. So got these little suckers here, nice cloves of garlic. I love these things. Heck, I'll just eat one. Chop, chop. Lovely garlic. Just chew some gum afterward. Here we go. So I'm slicing this nice and thin. Yeah, that's usually enough. Add as much garlic as you like. I usually add 3 cloves. We don't need this now. Bell pepper. Oh well. Rinse it off. We got a really good way to cut a bell pepper here, so let's watch.
Alright, so you don't even cut it. What you do, just hold it like this, get a good solid grip on it, push down.
Nice. Dude.
And just pull it open.
Whoa! Whoa!
This little thing comes out.
That is wild! And then you rinse out the
just, like,
inside.
rinse out.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
white stuff. You're all set. Yeah, you just push this bit down.
That
Pull it
is
open, yeah.
sick. All right.
How do you like it?
Very cool. All right, so we just saw a really good demonstration of how to chop up a bell pepper, or rather how would you call that? Divide, split a bell pepper. So thanks a lot. The way I usually chop these, along the long ends, boom, here we go. Turn it around, chop. Does this look right to you? What do you think? Is that
perfect.
Is that how you chop? Yeah. Other side. Shoot. Do you ever worry about how dull these knives are?
Here, can I give you a recommendation?
Yeah.
Especially for something like bell pepper.
Yeah.
Where is...
I was gonna be a wimpy nerd and use this wimpy nerd knife, but now I got a cool badass knife, so now I'm gonna use that for the rest of the recipe.
Great.
Right.
Yes,
Next
sir.
bell pepper. Chop her up.
Alright, so when I'm chopping, what I like to do is
Holy.
just like, I almost just cut my fingers off there, but
Yeah.
So start with that piece down, hold it, and then start down.
Oh, that's a smart idea.
Yeah. So like if you just keep.
Yeah. Okay. Keep doing that while I film it. So we also got some really good cutting ideas here. Everybody look.
Everybody. But
Yeah.
okay, let me try with this one. So
Yeah,
what we're
yeah,
gonna do is, when we cut, we want to start here, kind of go down, and pull back towards you. Okay, maybe that knife is just kind of shitty, but
Yeah, it's not a great knife. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm worried about them. I'm worried about them having these.
So
And that stupid ladder in the attic too.
which stupid ladder? Oh, that thing's fucked. Sorry, I just like cutting bell peppers.
No,
More than I
dude.
like the taste of bell peppers, honestly.
You don't like the taste, but you like cutting them.
Actually, so I made a recipe recently. I started making like chicken fajitas, and like in there, they're pretty good. All right, and then I am dicing them. Is that correct?
If that's what dicing is, then yes,
Yeah,
dicing.
maybe not dicing. Chopping.
Rough chop. Hey. Shoot.
Basically, what you did is more or less the same thing I'm doing.
More or less the same, huh? All right.
Nothing special here.
Now, everybody, something to know is that typically you use one bell pepper, but we have slightly more people eating here, so I'm just throwing in an extra one. So keep in mind,
people, yeah.
keep in mind the recipe is one bell pepper, and that's me cooking for myself.
You need a bigger bowl.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
All right. There we go. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Next step, we got ginger. Okay. Depending on whether or how much ginger you like, okay, put in as much ginger as you like. Actually, when I first started out, I was pretty white. It was hard for me to eat ginger and garlic. And I started out from one little clove of garlic and just this little toenail clipping of ginger, and gradually worked my way up. And now I enjoy both. Here we go.
You don't peel your ginger?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, always. Okay.
All right. Yeah, peel your ginger if you want to. It is not something I'm used to doing, but I suppose you could. All right. Let's see. Do you like ginger?
Fucking love ginger, bud.
All right, I'll keep going. Okay, the last vegetable that we chop up is our green onion. Okay, and green onion is stored separately. Okay, so don't put your green onion in with the rest of your veggies. Put it in a separate bowl. You'll see why. Now, because we add it at different times. Now, green onion, it's kind of an annoying little process that you got to figure out, because you really don't need the whole plant. You cut off the butts and you cut off the heads, right? So you really only need this central part. So that's really the only part that you need to wash. So here's what I like to do. Okay, take my green onions. There we go. Chop the butts. Flip it around. What do you think? That's a good one. Chop the heads. There it is. You keep going on this one a little bit. There we
Are
go.
we using the whites of the green onion, or are we using the green part, or are we using both?
We're using this.
Okay.
This is
gotcha.
the part of the green onion that we're using. So the body of the green onion.
A body of the green onion.
The
Gotcha.
body of the green onion. Now this bunch, these bodies, are the part that gets rinsed. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so now we got the heads and the butts off of the green onions. So this leaves us with a bundle of green onion bodies. We're going to chop these up. Here we go. We should have a nice pile of sliced up green onions. I guess it'd be more of a slice, less of a chop, wouldn't it? You guys know what I mean. There we go. Chop, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. Get rid of this. We're chopping. Okay, everybody, so we got our green onions cut up. Let's take a look at what they look like. I got them a little bit thick tonight, but that's okay because I like my green onions nice and thick. There we go. Okay, and just like I said, we're putting this into a separate bowl. It is not the same bowl as the rest of your veggies. We add green onions at a different time and partly as garnish. Okay, so I think that's all the veggies. Let's look at what we got. We got our main veggie bowl here. We got our green onions over here, and we will do a whole ingredient roundup before we start cooking. So don't worry about that. You will get a refresher. Next step, everybody, after our veggies, like I was talking about, we want to start with the simplest, least dishes, least hazardous, and gradually work our way up. So remember how we got all of our dry goods, liquids, whatever you want to call it, out of the way first. Then we got out our sharp knife and our veggies, okay? Now we're stepping up the hazardousness, right? And we're going to get out our chicken. And the reason we save our chicken for last is because we don't want germs around the counter. And who wants to take a break in the middle? If we do our chicken first, we have to take a break and then go wash the stuff that we're just about to use again anyway, right? So always save the meat for last. Where's our meat? So typically, when I'm cooking for myself, I do 2 chicken breasts, okay? I eat a lot, okay? I'm cooking for 4 people tonight, so we got 4 chicken breasts, okay? Again, this is a bigger version of the recipe. The recipe calls for 2 chicken breasts, or as I call them, cock tits. I could use a bigger cutting board, but oh well. Okay, everybody, so see what I just did here. I screwed up. I should have had my chicken bowl out and ready for the chicken. Now, because I've already touched the chicken, I have to wash my hands, go rummaging around for a bowl, come back, and then get my hands dirty again. This is why it's important to do everything in the correct order. So let's talk a little bit about what Kung Pao chicken is. Kung Pao chicken, right, comes from the Chinese province of 4 rivers, or as they say, Sichuan. Okay? And it, like we were saying, it's got this local peppercorn, that kind of stuff. Sichuan food is famously spicy with these peppers, of course. What's the name of this dish we're making? In Chinese, we call it gong bao jiding, right? That's where the kung pao gong bao, okay? What does it mean? Gong bao jiding means palace exploding chicken cube. So we're making some palace exploding chicken cubes here. Why am I talking about this? Because it's important to cube your chicken. Do not slice your chicken, cube your chicken. And that's one thing that most Chinese restaurants will not do, at least in the West. A lot of the time, when I go to a Chinese restaurant, order Kung Pao chicken, what will they give me? They'll give me strips of chicken, slices of chicken. Excuse me. Oh, there it is. All right, good.
Jesus.
All right. Anyway, look at this. This is a chicken cube, okay? Most Chinese restaurants aren't going to do that. They'll give you these thin slice strips of chicken because they want to cook faster. One of the great things about making your own food is that restaurants will skimp on ingredients, they'll cook as fast as they can, they'll make portions small. Well, you don't have to do that when you're cooking for yourself. So, cube your chicken, takes a little more time, but it's more authentic. So anyway, we got a lot of chicken. When you make it at home, it's not going to look like this much. Okay. Take our gross stuff, throw it away. this is a good little opportunity to clean your gross raw chicken stuff up and kind of regroup before we embark on the next campaign. Just give your surface a little spray down. There's chicken. Ingredient roundup! We're going to start with our powders. We've got a generous teaspoon of sugar and a generous tablespoon of flour. Got our liquids. 3 generous tablespoons of Huangjiu. You could use sake, I guess. Dark rice vinegar. And 3 of each. Plus 4 tablespoons, generous tablespoons of light or low sodium soy sauce. You can even taste it, it's delicious. That's the Kung Pao. Okay, liquids. We got our spices and nuts. We got crushed red chili, huajiao, and a generous handful of peanuts. We got veggies. We got bell pepper, 1 chopped bell pepper, half a chopped onion, ginger to taste, garlic chopped up, fresh to taste, as you like. Here's our chicken. Notice it's cubed, it's not sliced. That's going to be 2 chicken breasts. Some people like to brine their chicken. Some people like to marinate their chicken in soy sauce. Some people like to bread their chicken with a little bit of flour. Lots of things you can do. Call me a Philistine, but a lot of the time I won't do anything with it. I'll add a pinch of salt just so I don't look bad, to all the other the big dogs watching, because people will say, "Oh, this guy doesn't do anything to his chicken." Well, boom. Something else. You also need, and that's something I forgot here. I'm glad I'm talking about it now. Essence of chicken. It can be essence of chicken in any form you like. You can do 1 chicken cube. I think here we have chicken goop. Okay? So I'll take a teaspoon of chicken goop. You can take some chicken stock. You can take 1 cube of chicken is usually what I do. Anyway, take our goop. Plop. And that's what everything should look like. So maybe we can get a real quick look at the stuff. And those are all of our ingredients. They should be laid out nicely like this. Everything should be ready before we even think about turning anything on. In fact, let's go real crazy and get our rice ready before we turn on any heat. Let's do that. Okay, everybody, so when I'm cooking for myself, I usually take 1 cup of dry rice. We got a couple more people here today, so I'm making 2 dry cups of rice. That's going to be lots of rice. But when you're cooking for yourself, don't make more than 1. I find 1 is plenty. So let's take our cup here. 1, shoot. All right. Oh, well. There. Right here. Plop. 2. It's also tiresome. Now the way I do it is to get the water boiling first. Wash your rice if you're in a place that has bugs in the rice. You don't really need to, but if there's bugs, wash out the bugs. So anyway, 1.5 times rice to 1 water. So I'm going to be taking What's that? 3 cups of water. 2 cups of rice, 3 cups of water. You know, I'm gonna wash the rice. Okay, so that's our rice. Our rice is all washed, all ready to go. And it's gonna go on the pot, on the stove. You can even turn that on right now and let your water boil. Remember, 1.5 or slightly more times water than you have to rice. Okay. Okay, so we got our water boiling, we got our rice over here. Notice how we've used this opportunity to clean stuff up. That way there's less work to do after dinner. Another thing I like to do with my rice is, while the water here is boiling, add just a teaspoon, maybe not even that, of cooking oil, vegetable oil, or whatever cooking oil you have at home. I think sesame might not be so good because that would be flavoring the rice. Sunflower would be fine.
What's the reason that you put oil in your rice?
Keep the rice from sticking.
I see.
Yeah. So you got your water boiling for rice. Next thing you need to do is get out, if you have it, a wok for the chicken. When we got our wokish thing, we need to get that sucker nice and hot, okay? You know, there's all kinds of germs in Chinese wet markets and stuff, and the reason they don't get sick is because they fry the crap out of their food. So get it good and hot. That's how we stir fry stuff. Coronavirus.
I'm pretty sure that if you mention coronavirus in your video, there's going to be a little, well, there's going to be a little like thing that pops up at the bottom where it's like, for up-to-date information, here's the CDC website. Because
cool.
There's so many.
Yeah, well, I guess they need it, don't they?
Well, yeah, there's so many Republican men in pickup trucks. You know, like how they take the videos of themselves in the pickup trucks talking about how.
Yeah, I guess they do, don't they? Yeah.
You know, I used to be brainwashed by the
PC left.
PC left.
Yeah.
Liberal cucks, but then I saw a video of a man sitting alone in a pickup truck ranting, and he de-brainwashed
He really spoke to me.
Yeah, he made sure that I'm red pilled.
Yeah, red pilled.
And now I'm a red pilled Sigma male.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're right.
And I'm a red pilled Sigma male.
Okay. Now is a good time to get out the adult beverage of your choice. While you're waiting for the pan to heat up. My choice is Sneed's Feed and Seed. I mean Chuck's Pale Ale. I mean Dale's Pale Ale. Hey everybody, time for an etymology break, brought to you by Saki. Let's talk about this word, wok. Where does it come from? What does it mean? This is a Cantonese word that in Old Chinese would have been pronounced something like guag and means something like cauldron or cooking pot. Incidentally, it was also the word that they used in ancient China to describe the punishment of boiling somebody alive. So think about that next time you're making hot and sour soup. I made the mistake in the first edit of this video of equating wok with the Mandarin word guo, which means, again, a kind of cooking pan or pot or vessel, something like that. But in fact, they are two different words with two different etymologies. And of course, if you're a Cantonese speaker, you're already laughing at me for my mistake. And you know that if we were to pronounce this word guo in Cantonese, it would be pronounced something like wo, something like that. For example, if you ever eat Chinese hot pot, you might hear it referred to as huoguo, literally fire pot. Well, anyway, This guo has a different etymology that in Old Chinese probably would have sounded something like klol, something like that. And this is a word that shows up in Austroasiatic languages, I think, as all, and maybe in some other languages of mainland Southeast Asia. I don't know. We would call it the mainland Southeast Asian linguistic area. This would lend credence to what I think is the increasingly likely hypothesis that the Chinese language, or Sinitic language subfamily, if you like, if not the entire Sino-Tibetan language family, originated in southwest China, maybe in the Yunnan, Guizhou area, instead of in north-central China, as has been traditionally supposed. I gotta wonder which is the original Proto-Sinitic, or maybe even Proto-Sino-Tibetan word, walk or guo, and which one was borrowed into the family, maybe from other languages in Southeast Asia. Who knows? Not me. Another word that we use in Chinese cuisine that doesn't really show up elsewhere is piao piao. Now, I like to have a couple of piao piaos around, and I really don't know what to call this thing other than a piao piao. What would you call this?
What? That's a spatula, my boy.
No, it isn't. This is a spatula.
But
this
like,
is a piao piao.
It's the same shape.
Yeah, but it's for scoopy, ricey,
So this is spatula.
Chinese stuff. Okay, well.
Whatever you want to.
All
Yeah.
right. Piao piao. Okay?
Piao piao.
So that's another thing that shows up in Chinese food. Check it out! People sometimes ask me, Dr. Brule, how do I know if my wok is hot without burning my finger? Sprinkle water on it, you doofus! Oh yeah, we're hot! Immediately after adding the oil, make sure that your rice water isn't going crazy either. Immediately after adding the oil, take your chicken. It wasn't supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be a lot more graceful, but you got it. It's cooking. There we go. Look at that chicken.
Don't use fucking metal in a. No, don't use metal in a.
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, that's a non-stick pan. You never use metal in a non-stick pan.
Okay, guys, never use metal in a non-stick pan. We just found that out, but that's okay. We're cooking. Here it goes. Now, the aim is to get it nice and seared around the outside. Eventually, it's going to start releasing liquids and juices. So get it nice and seared around the outside before that happens. What you don't want is for it to turn into this soupy, liquid, stewy thing, because then you have to pour off the liquid. Keep your temperature nice and hot. Now I think is a good time, right after putting in your chicken, to add your rice to your boiling water, which it should be by now. Thank you. There we go. Piao piao. Stir that sucker. Whoops. Stir that sucker around. Cover it up. Leave it for the time being until it bubbles over. Back over here, we're stirring. There we go. Maybe you can hear me now. All right. Stir, stir. There it goes. What are you doing here, Daddy? Where's my sneeze? Put this kettle out of the way.
So you want to know why you don't use metal in a non-stick pan?
Explain to me.
Okay, so basically the pan has these non-stick pans. That's like a basically it's like a non-stick like coating.
Like
it's
chemical.
a thin coating. It's a thin chemical, coating. But so basically, what metal will do is you'll put little like indents. You'll put little like scratches on the coating. Those scratches then fill with bacteria.
Okay.
And not only do you get bacteria in your food, but then water can get in through the scratch in the coating and rust underneath.
That's not
Yeah,
good.
so just never use metal, always plastic or wood.
Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that. Don't forget to use a plastic or wood spatula when you're walking up your Kong. Makes sense, huh?
Grew up walking they Kongs.
Grew up walking they Kongs.
Grew up walking they Kongs.
Yep.
So do you usually keep it at that really high heat?
Yes. So we usually keep it at quite a high heat. I just got a good question here from a viewer. We keep it usually at a really high heat. We can turn it down a little bit, but we should keep it at least 3/4, 2/3 if you really want to tempt fate. There we go. If you really want to tempt fate, you can go down to 2/3 strength, but it's really good to keep it nice and hot. And here's why. If everybody can look, we got this liquid that's secreting off of the chicken. We don't like that liquid. We want it to burn off and evaporate naturally, okay? And that will make the chicken, if we let the liquid sit, the chicken will be less tender. So keep it hot. I know some people say never uncover your rice. I say phooey to that. I like to give it a little stir every now and then. Unless you have a rice cooker, in which case your life is about 10 times easier. Still cooking. I'm always skeptical about covering woks, but if you really need to get the heat where you want it to be, you can put it on for a couple of minutes. Again though, don't overuse your covers, I find, because that leads to more of this liquid stuff. And you don't want that, because otherwise you have to pour out chickeny goodness. That's not right. Keep it nice and hot. And remember, don't cover it too long. Okay, so here's what we want our chicken to look like. We're stirring it around, okay? And when you start to feel like it might be done, you can take out one piece, cool it off on a pile of vegetables, and then try to eat it. So here's one piece. Vegetables. There we go. Cool it off on here. It'll cool off. Maybe cover it with vegetables for a second. It cools off. Give it a second. All right, here we go. So here's our chicken cube. Let's see how it is. A little bit more time. A little bit more time.
I have a thought on your process, bud. What if you just like cut that chicken cube open instead of biting into a raw chicken
That's
cube?
a wise idea. Let's do that next time.
All right, let's do that next time.
Let's do that next time.
Guys, is that blue rare? Is that just the way you like it, blue rare?
It's funny because that's how I've always done it. It's never occurred to me to just cut it open.
Yeah, let's see, man. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll do that. Yeah.
Well, then again, you're not using, you don't have to wash on the knife. You may contract salmonella, the E. coli, probably not very, but.
So we got one piece of our chicken. Let's just very gently slice it open, see what it looks like inside. Perfect. That's what we want. We're gonna take, take one. Yeah. Take this out now, put it aside, and then we're gonna cook the veggies.
Have you got a bigger bowl though?
No, this is fine. Okay, we're taking out our chicken and setting that sucker aside where you reside.
I don't give a fuck where you be, motherfucker. Where you reside, motherfucker. How you live, how you see. Short to stack outs. This one's the blackout. 357 to your man. Can you hear me?
All right. Nice hot wok, oil. Okay, so our oil in our wok is nice and hot. We're now going to take our non-metal spatula. We got our Szechuan pepper. We got our dried red chilies broken up, and we got our peanuts, generous handful. Plop. And we're gonna let these get real hot. Get them nice and oiled up. You should start to see them brown a little bit on the peanuts. And you should be sneezing, okay? Ideally, we sneeze at this part. I don't know if I'm gonna sneeze because I made it a little light on the spicy, but that's the goal. If you sneeze at this part, you're doing it right. Check on your rice. Don't let it stick to the pan. This looks ready, huh? The main dish is proceeding as normal. By Allah, you people are dogs. I will continue as usual. Okay, so we got our spices and peanuts ready to go. Take a hot pad here. You can look at here how hot it is. We're gonna put that all on top of the chicken. Boom. Now, veggies. Plop. Get those in there. We're gonna stir fry our veggies. Oh, there's that sneeze. Now, if you like oil, add a little oil here. There you go. Good. So we got the veggies cooking nice and hot. They're about ready to go. You can see that just takes a couple of minutes. We're gonna take our chicken nut spice mix, plop that sucker right on top. There it goes. Stir it around, get it mixed real good. Let some of the liquid boil off as well. There we go. Nice and hot. This is a good time, if you like, optionally, to add some, but not all, of your green onions. There we go. There's a little bit right there. Okay. And we are almost at a, yeah, right? There it is. We got our liquids and we got our various cocaine-like powders. Put your powders on top of the stuff. Pour the liquid over the powders. Mix thoroughly. Should be a lovely scent, aroma right about now. And here is where the Kung Pao comes into being. There it is. There it is. A little more magic here. And a little dash of vinegar. Come on now. There it is.
Is that soy sauce you put in first?
Soy sauce and vinegar. We are about ready with our Kong, I think. A little bit more of this here. Take a little more. I think we can do a little bit more sauce. You want the sauce to be sticky, but not liquidy. We don't want liquidy sauce and we don't want starchy dry sauce. There we go. Hold this here. Mix that up. Yeah, that looks like a pretty good Kong. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's eat.
See? You're on.
All right, here's our rice. Piao piao for rice. Oh, don't do that. Okay, piao piao for Kong. There it is. And this is what it's all gonna look like when we're done. Let's eat.
Rolling Joe with the party scene. Nigga wanna know me as Mr. Clean. It was a Wu-Tang, flip the stripping. That's my skill, niggas, you're tripping. Cloaked up from sniffing. You're the one who's riffing, I'm not OP.